Hey there, my it's just like gonna get you. So to you in this relationship. Wow, okay, that was dramatic. Hey there, Gemini. It's Aviva Tamar, and I'm back with the tarot card reading for you. This reading is going to be meant to help you get through the month of June. It's going to help you figure out what your character strengths are, what your functional strengths are, and what your weaknesses are in the month of June, and help you kind of overcome obstacles and navigate some relationships that you might encounter in, again, the month of June in the year 2020. Okay? So, just so you're aware, I am just a translator, just an interpreter of symbolism and of meaning, and what I say is filtered through my own lens and experience. So it is your responsibility to take everything I say with a grain of salt and insert your own interpretation. Apply it as needed to your life. Don't take things from this that don't apply to you. If it vibes, it vibes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just, and if it does vibe and you like my vibe, then come join my vibe tribe and subscribe. I'm having fun, can you tell? So, yeah, let's build the vibe tribe and come join me. Subscribe to this little channel thing. Put a like down below, ring the bell, do things, comment. I like to hear from people. And let me know how this reading goes for you, my Gemini friend. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do for you, my friend, the Gemini, is use my Cryptids tarot deck to get a sense of your overall personal energy for the month of June. Now, this is just major arcana cards, so it's going to be like these large fixed overall energies, okay? But because of that, they are going to be very general as well, so don't be surprised if like your day-to-day is not what this is. If that makes Did that sentence make sense? Did that sentence make sense? I'm not sure. Okay. What energy will be surrounding Gemini in the month of June 2020? What energy surrounding Gemini in June? Oh, there it is. The Emperor. A nice, powerful energy. Look at that. Very grounded in reality. I like it. Very much. Very powerful. Authoritative. Assertive. Plans ahead. Cares for those. Cares for those in their care. Cares for, others. In their own way. The Emperor isn't going to be as like nurturing and loving and cuddly as the Empress, but the Emperor is like the provider. This person is going to be doing everything they can, everything within their power to provide for those under them and to provide peace and balance and abundance to those that they have to care for. So that's a good overall energy for the month of June for you, Gemini. Now, let's grab 9 cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot and figure out... Ooh, that was a nice shuffle. And figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are. So, Gemini, what are your strengths in the month of June for Gemini? Strengths in the month of June for Gemini. Okay, we'll take those. Ooh. Strengths in the month of June for Gemini. We've got the 6 of Pentacles and the Tower right off the bat. So, month of June, Gemini, expect big change. Expect the unexpected. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get 3 more cards. Give us strengths and weaknesses Okay, need one more card, please. Strengths and weaknesses. We got 2, but I'll take it, sure. I can be flexible. So, you got some major arcana here. But you got a good amount of minor arcana. So the way this works is out of these 9 cards, I look at the ratios. How much of each suit do you have? How many of each suit do you have, rather, is what I'm trying to say. And then we'll look at the major arcana cards that came out after we've looked at the suits. So the first thing is Pentacles, because it is your strongest suit. Which means that your strongest function, the way that you interact with the world most efficiently, is through your senses. Touch, taste, smell, all that. During the month of June, you are going to be very focused on your senses. You could be very focused on money as well. Let's look at what you got. You got the Ace of Pentacles first. And of course, you can't see it. But so the Ace of Pentacles is about beginning a journey of abundance, starting the work, beginning the working process, right? So in June, you may feel very motivated to get physical work done on something and make tangible progress in something. You also have the 5 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. So what this tells me is that in June, you may be feeling kind of down and out, especially financially. You may be feeling kind of like you're lacking, right? But at the same time, in June, you have the opportunity to give to someone else, or someone else is going to come in and help you with some sort of charity, some sort of donation. The problem here is that with the 5 of Pentacles present, there is the potential for ego to get in the way. Okay, so be aware in the month of June, my friend, that if you are in a difficult financial situation, some abundance will come and find you and bring you back into balance. The only thing that will stop that is your own pride, essentially, your own choice to be like, no, I don't need charity. I'll get myself out of this. When, sometimes you need a leg up. Sometimes you need some help. Okay, so the next things we're going to look at are your weaker suits, which are going to be your weaker functions. So like I said, you probably interact with the world best through your senses. You value tangible things, right? Then we get into, let's start with Cups, your intuition, right? So your intuitive senses are pretty weak, but we've got the 5 of Cups here. Your intuitive senses are weak because you are focused on the fact that they are weak. If you want to develop your intuition, if you want to develop trust in your gut instincts, you need to actually trust them. Like, you need to actually take stock of what your gut is trying to tell you and then follow that advice and see what happens. So for example, for you, my friend, who operates in the senses, when you are feeling anxious or afraid, you may feel some sort of physical sensation when that is happening. For myself, when I am feeling a large amount of anxiety, I feel a very strange tingling and tightness and sometimes a nausea in my stomach. So that is how I know that I am feeling anxious and nervous about something. So what you first need to do is take stock of those physical sensations you have when you are having emotional reactions, because that is your instinct. That's your gut. You'll notice the big ones like anger and fear first, and then you'll gradually start noticing the symptoms of happiness, the symptoms of peacefulness. You'll start noticing the symptoms of more subtle emotions like frustration when they're more early on. The more you pay attention, the more you work out that intuition and pay attention to what your gut instincts are trying to tell you through your bodily sensations, you'll develop that intuition a little bit more. You just need to focus on what you can do. Focus on what you can recognize, okay? So that's your intuition in the month of June. You can develop it if you choose to, but if you focus on the negative, it's not going to happen, all right? In the month of June, also, we have the 4 of Swords, okay? You need to rest your mind. Okay, there's a need for relaxation with the swords, the Four of Swords. There's a need for coming back into balance through just chilling out. Like you probably you could be having a lot of anxiety, right? Which is understandable. The good news is that in June, that anxiety is likely to subside and start recognizing that you do need to rest. And June would be the right time to do that. Specifically your mind. If you've had a lot of thoughts that are catastrophic, June would be the time to work on laying those down. June is definitely a time, and June, because your mind is going to be in resting mode, you may have trouble with mental tasks in June. So be aware that in June, you're mainly going to be functioning as usual from your senses. And it's okay to rest your mind if your mind needs rest, especially if you are showing symptoms of mental fatigue like brain fog and confusion and forgetfulness. Those are all signs that you need to like chill out and relax for a little bit because you're like way too stressed out. The last suit you have here is Wands, another just one card, and that's the 10 of Wands. That shows me that emotionally you're holding a lot of burdens. Even in June, as you're resting mentally, you're holding a lot of burdens. So what I see overall here is that you could be just like carrying too much out of pride, and that's not okay, Gemini. You need to let other people help you so that you can come into balance. I know that you take pride in working hard. I know that you take pride in earning your own things. The problem is that sometimes you do need some help. And it's okay to rest. It's okay to put down burdens. And it's okay to get assistance sometimes. All right. And now we're going to move into the major arcana, which I think you will like. I think you will enjoy this Tower card. Oh yeah, you're totally going to enjoy that. That just means that there's a sudden big like boom kind of change coming. So you just got to be ready for sudden changes in June. Be aware that all of the like everyone that I've done a reading for so far is Tower or Death or both. So everyone is experiencing a very big change in June. The good thing is that this change does seem to result in a lot of people gaining a lot of power. So be aware that big changes are coming, but they will result in good things because you have the Fool, which is like the ultimate card of potential and starting things. With the Ace of Pentacles, you're definitely starting something new in June, my friend, the Gemini. Now, you also have the Magician, who is a master manifester. Since you also have the Emperor here, I'd say that you are a very powerful, authoritative person. You're very good at making things happen, turning things into reality. You're very good at that. Since you are supposed to be in rest mode in June, you probably are always thinking about new ways to do things, thinking about new projects and ideas you can do, new ways to make money probably. You probably use your mind a lot, and that's why you need to rest it in June, okay? There is a new beginning coming. You have to let it find you. The Magician is used to being a manifester. The Magician, especially with this Emperor energy also, the Magician likes to be in charge because the Magician knows that they can change their world just through their thoughts and their actions, right? Just simple little thoughts and actions is what changes the world, and you are aware of that. The problem is that you want to take action right now at a time when you are completely depleted. You are depleted financially, you are depleted physically, you are depleted mentally, you are depleted emotionally, and even intuitively. You are just so depleted. You need to rest so that you can start anew, because something big is coming to change your path and start you on a new path, but it's not going to be able to find you, and you're not going to have the energy. Specifically, you're not going to have the energy to go on this little adventure, this excursion, if you don't take the time to rest, develop that intuition by focusing on the positive and the things that you can do, and lay down these emotional burdens. Let others help you, okay? That's and then last but certainly not least is the moon. So in June, my friend, the moon is going to find you. That means your subconscious is greatly going to be affecting you in June, which makes sense since you have all these burdens here. If you are subconsciously under the surface holding burdens, carrying things around, especially things that aren't really yours to carry, it's overwhelming. You cannot function properly. And even when you tell yourself, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, everything's fine, subconsciously, those things are going to catch up with you and affect you. So you do need to be aware of your subconscious in June because it will be affecting your behavior. Okay. Now that I'm done with this section, I'm going to move on to a relationship reading for you to give you an idea of how to navigate relationships in the month of June. Okay. Okay, Gemini, are you ready for your relationship reading? Because I'm ready. So what I'm going to do here is I want you to focus on a special relationship that you have, a very important relationship that you have with another person. It does not have to be romantic. It could be a parent-child relationship. It could be a sibling relationship. It could be a very good friend. Just have that person in your mind. Envision the last time you were with that person and try to feel with your senses the things that you could smell or hear. There we go. All right, so now what I'm doing here is I'm giving you your conscious representations of yourselves, okay? Consciously, you are presenting yourself as this Princess of Gems character, okay? So the Princess of Gems, the ingenue, is someone who has a lot to learn still, someone who is creative, someone who is earthbound, someone who likes nature and values the earth, someone who might be a little bit more slow-paced as well, who thinks things through before they act. Also, the Princess of Gems is someone who plans ahead for all sorts of possible contingencies, right? So the Princess of Gems is a very grounded little page, little princess. Okay. Along with the Princess of Gems, though, for your conscious energy, for how you are presenting yourself to the other person in this relationship, is the Queen of Shells, that empath energy, which is interesting since you got that Five of Cups, which, you know, if you're presenting as empathic, if you're presenting to this other person or to other people in general that you have this intuitive ability and you're ignoring your intuitive ability, you may also suffer from like this feeling of like, oh man, I'm way too fake, right? And that can cause trouble. So do be aware of that. But it looks like you have a good mix of like this mature, intuitive, empathic sense for people, like this love of people, and then you also have this love of the earth and this desire to like plan ahead and be ready for anything. So das ist gut. Das ist gut. All right, so now we're going to get your partner or the other person's conscious energy. How are they presenting themselves to you in this relationship? Wow, okay, that was dramatic. We'll go with that one. Okay, so you have the Prince of Shells. Okay, the Prince of Shells is the charmer, right? He is an intuitive character, the Prince of Shells. Well, they are an intuitive character, this prince. Let's look him up in the book. So, the Prince of Shells is someone who has rejected conventional notions of what is proper. He doesn't want his ways or whereabouts known, so he may be a more secretive person. This person may be very sensual and romantic also. So on the surface, at least, this person appears to like reject conventional notions and have new ways of thinking and doing things, and may rely very much on their intuitive sense. They could be very dreamy, very like lost in the clouds kind of person. And they definitely would be the kind of person to like reject conventional ways of thinking and conventional ways of acting in favor of their own interpretations, right? So now let's get subconscious energies, right? So your subconscious energy is the Prince of Wings, the Challenger. This is someone who like tests boundaries. So subconsciously in this relationship, you are a person who tests boundaries. Now, you subconsciously may have very strong beliefs because of this Prince of Wings, right? You may have very powerful morals because the Prince of Wings is equivalent to the Knight of Swords, who is someone who seeks out truth, who fights for justice, who abolishes negativity and evil, right? So this Prince of Wings character that you are under the surface could be juxtaposed with the Prince of Shells if you guys can't find an impasse, right? If the Prince of Shells has ideas that you support, that you are willing to fight for, this can be a very good partnership. The problem comes when like this person rejects all of your morals in favor of their unconventional ideas, right? So just be aware of that. Beneath the surface, this person is the King of Roses, the motivator. Let's see what he's about. Multitasker, a doer, not a thinker. Not intellectual. Okay. So the King of Roses is someone who is definitely not an intellectual kind of soul. This is someone who follows their emotions more often than not. They're willing to take on a lot of projects because they're so passionate. They don't know how to say no, kind of thing. But there's definitely not a lot of logical thinking in this. It's more like passion for something. But the King of Roses, when they're not, when they're in their like negative shadow aspect, they can be kind of, they could take advantage of people. I'm just going to say that. They can be like emotionally manipulative because they do have all that knowledge about emotions. However, usually the King of Roses, when they have good intentions, can be really good at keeping other people positive and motivated. So what that other person probably could do for you is be a really good motivator and help you stay I don't want to say motivated again, but I'm going to say it. So they're going to help you stay motivated. They're going to help you stay on track and get things done if they have good intentions. If this person does not have good intentions, okay, if they are more focused on themselves and their needs and less focused on you and your needs, it could cause trouble because you are more intellectual and more grounded, it looks like. You have this intuitive sense. You have a lot of intuition if you're willing to put work into feeding it. And with this Prince of Wings, you are very much a boundary tester, a truth seeker, you value facts and logic and science. So you seem like a very grounded person who, while you're not 100% mature, you know, while you do have some growing to do, it does like you are very grounded and you're pretty well rounded as well. Whereas this other person doesn't seem to be willing to use their mind. The other person just doesn't seem like they want to use like science and facts and logic the same way you do, which could be why you have it as your subconscious rather than as your conscious representation. So the next thing I'm going to do is get your projections on each other. What are you projecting onto each other? So you are projecting onto this person, the Princess of Roses, right? You see in them this adventurous and zesty person who loves life and is willing to do things differently and explores things and goes out and experiences things. So you see them as a very exciting person. That's cool and all. Like, really, it is. Sometimes excitement isn't the way to go. So this person is projecting onto you the Princess of Wings here, okay? So the Princess of Wings is the messenger. The Princess of Wings is someone who is versatile and adaptive, someone who likes to communicate, who values the spoken word, who values communication, who also values truth and logic. This is someone who thinks a lot about the future. So they perceive you as this person who is thoughtful, who is in their head a lot. And you perceive them as someone who is adventurous and values experience. So you guys are seeing good things about each other, and it does look like you really you're aware of the subconscious manifestations in each other. That's why, like, they have the King of Roses. You see them as the Princess of Roses. You have the Prince of Wings, and they see you as the Princess of Wings. You each have a pretty good idea of what is going on under the surface. I think that maybe we should be aware of how other people can affect us in relationships sometimes. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do for this relationship reading is get 2 cards, one for how you are consciously relating to one another, and how you are unconsciously relating to one another. So first, how you're consciously relating with one another is through the 9 of Roses. So I'm going to just read the 9 of Roses from the book for you. To convert your longings for true love into a healthy relationship requires discipline and health. Your willpower, character, and body may soon be tested. Things will go well if you eat right, exercise, and strive to be healthy. Okay, so editing me. Hi, I'm here to read to you the 9 of Roses section and the Ace of Roses section of this book because I lost the ending of your relationship reading. Sorry about it. I'm just going to fill in the gap here and hopefully you still get the message. So let's get this done. First of all, let's finish up with the 9 of Roses here. So yes, take care of your body, strive to be healthy, avoid anything or anyone that impairs your judgment and physical abilities. Don't do anything to excess. Avoid intoxication, including intoxicated and otherwise negative people, as well as dangerous areas. Learn and practice self-defense techniques so you can confidently defend yourself. Stay faithful to your word and to your core beliefs. So definitely, my friend, on the surface, this relationship needs work. You guys can be really good together. It requires you both to be healthy together. So if one or the other is toxic or is dealing with addiction or is otherwise manipulative or negative and is like, if this other person is bringing you down, okay, just real talk, if this other person is bringing you down, if you are with this person just out of habit because it is scary to move on, cut it. No, nope. But if you want this relationship to last, it is going to require both of you to put in effort. And if one of you is not willing to put in effort, it's not going to work. Sorry about it. Below the surface, let's see what's going on with the Ace of Roses, okay? An exciting breakthrough in personal relationships occurs, maybe even a new opportunity for romance. One of you considers the other person the one. You and or the other person who lights your fire are feeling positive, self-confident, affectionate, and sexy. There are new prospects for improvement in an existing relationship. This is a time of initiation and originality. Go on first impulses and impressions. Make the first move. Flirt. If you're sure it's right, signal your desires to a special someone. Don't hold back. You will be rewarded if you make new friends or help an existing relationship. So yeah, do work, guys. If you really want your relationship to last, there is still passion beneath the surface. There's still love there. There's just physical work to be done so that you both can be healthy together. That's all, okay? So please take this message, go into your relationship, and make it an amazing one, because you guys have a lot of potential together. You have potential to really balance each other out and really be a productive couple. Or a productive pair, whatever the scenario. Just be willing to do the work. If they aren't willing to do the work, whether or not there is love present, the relationship may not work out, because relationships require work. All right. Now let's move on and get into your next section. Hey, y'all. So what I'm going to do now is give you a card from a deck called the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, right there. This is one of my favorite decks. I am going to read to you from the book. The card I have for you today is Home, right there. Home, which is a lovely card. I love this card. You are Wow, words. You are comfortable in your own skin. You belong. Peace, security, safety, belonging, and all the features one would want from home are indicated now. Das ist gut. The home card represents an invitation to experience what it's like to be secure in your own skin, to live comfortably no matter what is happening in the world around you. It is a time for opening your eyes to your tribe of like-minded people, or one special person who makes you feel like you've come home. Home is love, and love is all around you now. Whatever your inquiry, you are where you are meant to be and will reap great benefits by staying on this path regardless of where it leads. Home will always be with you. It is where the heart is. So, my friend, I know that's a little different considering our aces, our original reading did say that you are starting a new journey. It could be a journey home. June could be the month where you start actually feeling like you're comfortable with yourself, feeling like you don't need to change, and going on a journey of self-discovery. I like the idea. What I'm trying to say is that this is a wonderful and auspicious card. It talks of peace and abundance. You are going to be feeling very secure in the month of June. You are going to start a new journey in June where you're going to be moving towards this self-acceptance and this love of self. I love that. That's great. That's a wonderful message. And the last thing I'm going to do for you now is pull a card from the Rebel deck. So be aware that if you don't like difficult messages, if you don't like cursing, this may not be the part of the reading that you want to watch, and you can skedaddle on out of here now. Thank you for joining me. But I am going to pull a card from the Rebel deck for one last message for you, something that you can repeat to yourself in the month of June, throughout the month. Ooh. It can be something that keeps you grounded. It can be something that brings you peace. Here's what I got for you. You need a good fucking cry. Get the ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you. When we are healing, when we are growing, when we are changing, and especially when we are trying to learn how to accept ourselves the way we are, it can be a difficult process. Right now is a super stressful time for everyone. Right? And it's kind of forcing everyone into this place of self-reflection. And that can be very uncomfortable. And the uncertainty right now is also super uncomfortable. A lot of people are under a lot of stress. And you, in particular, my Gemini friend, have shown me already that you have a lot of emotional burdens right now. You're carrying a lot, and it might be time to let it all out. Let your emotions be heard. Let your emotions be known. It's not okay to push your emotions down and tell yourself you're okay all the time. It's much better to admit that you're feeling how you're feeling so that you can process those emotions and heal from what you're feeling. Okay? All right. I really do hope that June brings a lot of healing and love to you. I hope you receive a lot of blessings, and I hope you rest and receive this relief from these burdens that you've been holding. Okay? I hope everything works out for you in June, my Gemini friend, and I will see you next time. Bye. Everybody is cutting their grass right now. All of the people in my neighborhood are just cutting their grass right now. I don't know why. If that makes... Did that sentence make sense? I'm not sure.